Putin is now at a moment where his economy is struggling. He's not achieving much success on the front lines. And of course, he would like now to use a ceasefire of some sort to kind of say, okay, I cannot get control of Donbass through force, so why don't you just give it to me? I mean, that's not going to happen, and everybody understands this.
On Friday, Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin will meet in Alaska, a potential turning point in the war in Ukraine. But the White House is already trying to manage expectations, which for many people are not that high to begin with. Vice President J.D. Vance says both Russia and Ukraine will likely be unhappy with any deal and that the US is done funding the war. So what agreement would Kyiv actually accept, and will the Ukrainian president even be invited to the talks? Let's speak now to Yuriy Sak, former advisor to the Ukrainian government. Yuri, good morning to you.
Good morning, Stig.
How optimistic are you feeling about Friday?
Well, it's very difficult for us to be optimistic after, almost more than half a year of these peace talks. But of course, look, Ukraine is committed to peace process. We want this war to end. So we welcome every opportunity our partners take to bring the end of the war closer. And we trust our US partners. We have seen that they are committed to the process. And the fact that this meeting will happen, we hope that this will be one additional step towards achieving some form of solution with regards to establishing a ceasefire first, and then hopefully a more lasting and just and sustainable peace.
I mean, I'm sure you have to say you trust them, but do you really trust the Americans in all of this? Are you not worried that in a meeting between Putin and Trump, your country will just be carved up by them?
Well, in a way, of course, we understand very well that it is very likely that what the leader of Kremlin is trying to do is he's trying to set a trap for Donald Trump. We are very skeptical about Russia's intentions, and our president said it yesterday very clearly that we are not seeing any signs on the ground that Russia is planning to somehow at least decrease the intensity of the attacks, both along the front lines as well as on the Ukrainian cities. But at the same time, our team, Ukrainian team, is working 24/7 with the US team. The US partners are very well informed about both the reality on the ground and about our vision of the peace process going forward. And we have seen that actually just some time ago, Donald Trump has said it very openly that he's growing frustrated with the way Putin approaches the process. The president of the US doesn't want to be tapped along. He doesn't want to be lied to. And he himself said that, enough bullshitting, right? Time for action. So this actually may look like Donald Trump giving the last chance to the president of Russia with a view to, an opportunity, show us that you are committed, show us that you are realistic when you say that you want to achieve peace.
But what happens if he says, in order to have peace, I want the US to recognize Crimea as part of the Russian Federation, or the Donbass region, or various parts of eastern Ukraine? Putin may well ask for things that Ukraine could never give them, and America might go along with that. That's the fear, I presume.
Well, Stig, listen, we can be assured that Putin will ask for unrealistic, maximalistic things. Essentially, what we're seeing is Putin trying to disguise the capitulation of Ukraine in the form of some kind of ceasefire or peace talks. In reality, of course, there are certain red lines for us which we cannot cross. We cannot ever accept the legality of Russian claim to the territories that they have illegally annexed and pretty much grabbed with force. This was a crime of aggression. Everybody understands this, and our American partners understand this too. They, so when they say that every party will be a little bit unhappy, to put it mildly, we are already unhappy because we have Russians on our soil. They have committed a crime of aggression. And for us, it is also too much to even recognize that, of course, because of the reality on the ground, at the moment, we are unable to evict them by force. So what our president said, and this is the position of Ukraine, of course, that, we can consider perhaps a ceasefire along the front lines, but we will never recognize any legality of any Russian claim to our territory, Donbass, Zaporizhia, Kherson, Crimea, and where we can work through diplomatic means in the future. So let's see what these talks between Donald Trump and Putin bring, we have no other choice. We have to be quietly optimistic. We have to hope that what will be discussed and what will result will be something that we can work with going forward.
Should Zelensky be there? Will Zelensky be there? Everyone's talking a little bit out of the side of their mouths when they refer to this. Like, it's clearly not an open invitation to Zelensky, but they don't want to close the door entirely on him either. Do we even know? Is there a chance Zelensky could be there in Alaska?
Well, we've seen reports, but mainly from different news outlets, so they cannot be taken with full confidence. But look, this peace process. It's a complex mechanism with a lot of moving parts. We have seen in the past that first Donald Trump, for example, has a telephone conversation with Putin, then he follows it up with Zelensky. Sometimes the other way around. So we must not take this prospective meeting out of context from a broader framework of these negotiations. And everybody understands, our US partners understand, our European partners understand and support us very much on this, that there can be no decision, no final decision about Ukraine without Ukraine. But again, this meeting will not result in any final decision. If we are lucky, it will be a small step towards some form of a ceasefire. But let's wait and see.
Are you sure that it's right? European partners feels like an accurate description. Are you sure the right phrase? You have perfect English, Yuri, so I know you use your words carefully. Are you sure the phrase US partner is the right phrase? Are you sure Donald Trump is a partner in this enterprise in order to make Ukraine safe?
Well, look, we still have more or less a bipartisan support when it comes to big decisions. We have signed the minerals deal with our US partners, and they have actually mentioned this minerals deals just in the last 48 hours a couple of times on different levels. We understand that deep inside, whether the Democrats or Republicans, they understand very well that this is not just about some remote territory in eastern Ukraine. This is a big risk that, if allowed to spill over, will result in, further encroachments of the Russians onto NATO territory, and that may force the NATO allies to respond. So I think deep inside, American establishment, American leadership understand very well that it is in their national interest to continue to be Ukraine's partner. And actually, if we listen carefully to the rhetoric of Donald Trump, I mean, it has been different in the last 6 months since the process began. But by and large, he said that he's committed to helping Ukraine achieve just peace through force. And I would just like to say this as well. President Zelensky said it very clearly in his nightly video address yesterday. He said, if we want Russians to stop fighting, we, as all of us, US primarily, and European partners, we have to stop Russian war economy. And this is possible. Donald Trump has all the means that he needs to actually make this happen. And the fact that Putin has agreed to meet with him on the American soil is in itself a very telling fact. Putin is now at a moment where his economy is struggling. He's not achieving much success on the front lines. And of course, he would like now to use a ceasefire of some sort to kind of say, okay, I cannot get control of Donbass through force, so why don't you just give it to me? I mean, that's not going to happen. And everybody understands this. Everybody's realistic. But again, yes, US are our strategic partners, and as well as European countries. Yeah. And we are in this because we call this the freedom war. It's not just our Ukrainian conflict over Donbass.
I understand, Yuri. We'll see what happens. I mean, all eyes of the world will be on Alaska on Friday to see what takes place. Yuri, great to speak to you. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you.
That's Yuriy Sak, former advisor to the Ukrainian government, cautiously optimistic still. Catherine Philp, we had at the beginning of the programme, she said the concern that she would have is that they couldn't have picked a location further from Europe with Alaska. And so how much will the European interests be represented is an open question. Yuri's still holding out some hope there.